And we are back with another bonus episode with our favorite Eva. Welcome back.
Hello. I'm so happy to be back. This was so much fun the first time. So thank you for having me back.
Oh, always, always our friends from Indy, as we always say. Eva, first and foremost, you were so busy this summer doing school things, doing Indy Fuel things. Run us through kind of the highlights.
Yeah. So over the summer, I went back home, which is in Northeast Indiana. So like maybe 2 hours from Fishers. And I worked as a digital producer and a reporter for my hometown station in Fort Wayne, which was really cool. I've been working for them since May 2023. So I've had some time to, grow, work in the newsroom. And so that was really fun. I got to cover a lot of stories. I did more of like the digital reporting, which is kind of becoming a new thing where I make a package like a regular anchor or reporter would, but it only goes on the website. So it doesn't have to hit the airwaves. It's less pressure.
Yeah.
I have more time to work on it because I'm not getting it done in 2 hours. And I can be more creative with it. So I covered a lot of things. I went to local like food places to talk about them. I ate a lot of food because I had to show the food. So they're like, "Do you want some?" And I'm like, of course.
Absolutely.
My favorite was all the ice cream shops I visited because they're just like, "Well, we have to throw these away or you have to take them." And I'm like, "Oh, what a shame. I have to take all these ice creams. I'm devastated." So that was fun. And then I was tossing between Indy and here. I feel the month of May particularly because I'm a big Indy 500 Indy car fan. So like every weekend I would spend like Thursday, Friday here in the office for the fuel, and then Saturday, Sunday at the racetrack at IMS, and then I'd be home Monday through Wednesday or Monday through Thursday back at Wayne. It was just like rotating revolving door.
Even who's your team for IndyCar? We have to get into this too.
I am a Colton Herta fan.
Yes.
That is, so I'm an Andretti fan. My boyfriend got me into it. So.
I'm a big fan that kid should have done theater in high school.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I was like, he's a diva, like through and through. But my boyfriend's a big Elio Castroneves fan, which like who is not? But through the fuel last year we met David Malukas. And so during some of the track sessions we saw him and we said hi to him. So it was just like combining then the hockey world and then the IndyCar world kind of collided over the summer, which was really cool. But definitely now I'm still an Andretti fan, but rooting for AJ Foyt for David. And then I'm still like partially a Penske fan. I just want a good race.
You like everybody.
I do. And I love the social media aspect because they absolutely crush it. And so summer was very busy, and then we were here prepping, and then we moved buildings. So we used to be at the fairgrounds, and now we're in a nice office building in Fishers. I kind of have my own office, which is kind of nice. It's like an empty one, but everyone's declared that it's mine because I'm the only one that uses it. It is partially storage, but it's fine. It's fine. It's mine. But yeah, that was summer. It was crazy busy, and now we're back at school. And it's still crazy busy, but it's a good crazy busy.
I know. That's why I wanted to get you on before like the craziness, because I didn't know if Butler was on semester or trimester. And I'm like, y'all are getting to like testing. Like I didn't want to get too close to the holiday.
Yeah, we're getting into the weeds. It's more just like essays. Because as a journalism and StratCom students, like, what are you going to test on?
Writing everything.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do a package, do a project. I'm like, okay, well, all right. But no, that's me. I've definitely been busy, but any time I got to spend over the summer here in office, I was like here. But it was the off season though, so it was like kind of hard to still film things and do things just because we obviously didn't have any players on contract that we could film or do things with.
Right.
And then it's also just like everyone was taking their vacations because they well deserve the vacation after the season. And so sometimes it like overlapped, but then we had summer interns and it was great to see them. And then we planned all of our like promo events. So that was probably like a highlight. And then we filmed like a bunch of videos at the Children's Museum. We flew in a helicopter for a
That's
promo
what I was
video.
gonna say. I'm like, I
Yeah,
saw a helicopter on your story. We have to talk about
flew
the helicopter.
in a helicopter. So Joe, who you
Mhm.
guys have met, spoke to, he was like, we have military appreciation night. And he was like, you know what would be cool is if we got in contact with the Indiana Army National Guard and we flew in a helicopter. And then Emma, who is like partnerships and director of that, she was just like, that's funny, Joe. Like, no way. But we'll ask. We'll ask because they're a sponsor with us. So we're like, we'll ask. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. Just like fill out these paperworks and we'll see you next week. And we're just like, and then the day came and we're just like, oh my gosh, we're flying in a military grade Black Hawk helicopter. I'm gonna lose my mind. It was actually kind of scary at first because they got all strapped in and they're like, well, in case we're going down, like do this. And I'm like, please don't go down. Like, I want to live. Yeah, so that was crazy. The takeoff was the crazier part because it kind of like, I would think through movies and stuff, the helicopter just goes like up and like, then that's how you go. It goes a little up and then goes whoosh. And it was like a fast, like, and I was like not ready for it. But it was really fun. So we literally got from, it was in Shelbyville, which a drive, it was like 45 minutes an hour, but it took us maybe 15 minutes to fly to downtown Indy. Then we flew to Fishers, and I didn't even know we were in Fishers because like they're close together, but it's like a 30-minute drive-ish, depending on where you are, like 20 to 30 minutes from Indianapolis to Fishers.
Well, when I would imagine being in the helicopter, you have limited perception as to where you actually are.
Yeah,
Unless
like I saw
you
landmarks.
see a big
Like
building and you're like, okay, this is where we are.
Like we flew near my school, and then I was like trying to figure out where we are. I'm like, oh, there's my Culver's that I like to go to. So I like then I'm pointing out landmarks, and then we're like, oh, there's the Cheesecake Factory. So like it was funny, like all the landmarks that we were really finding was like food landmarks, but I mean, that's not a crime. But then like it was easy to spot the Top Golf, and so then that's when we knew that we were in Fishers because you can't ignore Top Golf, like it's huge and ginormous. And they were like, oh, new arena, there we are. And we're like, oh, how fun. But we literally flew like in between some of the buildings in downtown Indy. And I'm like, is this legal? Like, can we do this? Like, they're like, yeah, we got clearance, it's whatever. And I'm like, there's probably people. And then I saw on TikTok, like people were like posting videos of like, what is this helicopter doing in Indianapolis? Should I be worried? I'm like, it's just the Indy Fuel, guys.
It's just me.
You're fine. Like you guys should have nothing to worry about. I was like, it was a little bit rainy. And they're like, you guys have to come back because we need to have the doors open. And I'm like,
yes.
I was like, I'm not taking my phone then. I'm strapping, like, I was so scared of dropping something. And if the doors are open, I don't want to drop my phone because goodbye phone. I'm never going to see you again. We need to get like one of those like Wii straps. I'll get a Wii strap my phone to me. But no, that was probably the highlight of the off season was going in a helicopter. The Black Hawk one too, which, you know, symbiotic in many ways. But it was crazy. Then filming at the Children's Museum was fun because we got to go before everyone else got there, so it was empty. And so no children were there when we were filming, which was nice. But no, we kept ourselves busy as we could. And then, of course, just prepping. And then once the season started, it's kind of just been like, bam.
Yeah, fair enough. You mentioned a couple of times, you guys have a new stadium.
Yes.
Tell me everything.
So we had our first like media like TV station, Indianapolis media event yesterday. But basically we moved to Fishers, Indiana, brand new arena, like stadium, like everything brand spanking new, building from the ground up. I think due to some like construction, you know, like a couple months ago we had like construction construction was slowing down.
Construction's awful.
Construction, yeah. And it's Indiana too, so all the construction just builds up. So we had some delays in the construction, like we couldn't get some like wood or something like that. But the new arena will be built sometime soon. It's almost done. Like we literally have, I think the framework's done. Like the building itself is done. Just the interior is not. All the seats are in though. And I think part of the walls and the glass are going in soon. But like ice is going in early next month. They have their opening date. They're doing some concerts to like kind of test run the facility
Cute.
before you kind of shove a hockey game in there, because hockey's kind of a bigger sport to put on, a bigger event to put on. So at least for like training of staffing, they want to make sure that they are, know what's going on. And I think that's November 22nd. So like what? In less than a month, it's going to be ready to go. And so we're very excited. Everything it's not every day or not every time you work for a sports team, you get to work with a new facility. And it's just very unique because the Fuel it's their 11th year. And this new arena is like, obviously have had some discourse between, we're moving out of Indianapolis per se into Fishers. But with that, the market has grown exponentially. Like we've grown in ticket sales, we've grown in season tickets. Our sponsor list has grown, and we're just very excited to be in this new facility. And then we get the Fishers Freight as well, which is the indoor football team that is under Hallett Sports and Entertainment, which is where the Fuel are under. So a lot of good things are happening, and we've had some photos put up already, but I'm excited to see the locker room. It's supposed to be like an NHL-esque locker room, which I'm super hyped for. I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't attest to it. But I imagine it's like one of those like circle ones. I feel like I've seen like a lot of them, and then they're big stalls. But the locker room we had at the Coliseum was really nice too. So I'm like, any upgrade from that one, I'm going to be like, goodness, like
We'll take it.
This is nice. But it's easier for the players to get to the arena, which is probably one of the biggest things because it used to be a 30-minute drive for practice, even for them. But their like apartment building is right next to their practice building. So they can just walk on over, and then it's like a 7-minute drive to the arena.
Oh,
so
that's much nicer.
It's going to be much nicer for the team, for the players involved. And then also, it's kind of random, but when we used to take like walk-in photos of the players, we had to be outside. And Indiana winter, no joke, had to be outside.
Out there with your parka and your phone.
Yeah, it was freezing. Now it's like how NHL stadium arenas are, where it's indoors. So they walk in and you have this tunnel that we can take the photos in indoors, which is just going to be so much nicer. I'm just stoked. I'm really excited to get into it. We have some on ice. We have our on ice media day next month. So everyone stay tuned for content for that. And then also we are doing locker room content as well. So we'll get to see the locker room soon. Very excited about that. But the players are really excited, like all of them. It was a big draw to coming back is because a new stadium. Who doesn't want to? But the only apprehensive thing is I don't know how much they will get to play on it before their first game, which like as a home team standpoint, like it's home ice,
a little weird,
like an advantage. But because they have concerts and other things going on, the lights are going to be different, not that what you're used to. And so that's just going to be kind of an adjustment at first. But I think the crowd atmosphere will be way more intense because it's a singular level. It just goes up higher, if that makes sense. Like one big bowl, kind of like the Toledo Walleye Stadium. But no, it's going to be great. Like I cannot express enough. Everyone's excitement here. Front office, we're hyped. We're excited to be in Fishers. We're still the Indy Fuel, contrary to popular belief. Like people thought we were going to rename it Fishers Fuel. No, we're the Indy Fuel. This is not Indiana's because we have the comments. Indianapolis-based hockey team, and we're still going to be that. So, no, I'm pumped. I'm hyped.
Now, from a fan perspective, what's sort of the distance between where you guys were and where you guys are now?
So it's maybe about 20-minute drive.
Okay.
My university is right kind of next to the fairgrounds. And so it's probably a 20-minute drive up. But the huge thing that I feel like people need to understand about this new venue is that there are things to do around the venue. At the fairgrounds, it was a fairgrounds, kind of plopped in the middle of the city. Not really anything to do around there. No places to eat, not very family friendly. I mean, it's the fairgrounds, but still, like sometimes in the winter, they have their cattle shows. So our fans were walking in and legit cows were also walking into a building next door. how Indiana can you get like legit cows? And so that was a huge thing of like parking was horrific that day because you had 300 cows there. Crazy. But no, there's like right next to this arena, there's an IKEA, there's the Top Golf, there's a Shake Shack, there's a chicken salad chick, there's a Portillo's, which I love Portillo's. There's so many places to eat. There's a hotel right next door. So for fans that are coming away or the away team, they'll stay there. Everything is
right there.
Right there. There's like a Target 3-minute drive. So if you come early for the game, go to the Target. If you come early for the game, eat local. Like this is all going to help benefit the larger like eat shop local
No, that makes
mantra.
sense.
Yes, which is just I feel is so important now. I mean, when you go to an NHL game, there's so much to do outside. Like I just went to the Columbus Blue Jackets. There was a Tim Hortons outside. There was Jimmy John's. There was local businesses. There was lots of things to do outside. They also have the Columbus Clippers. They have the Crew. So like everything is around there.
Yeah.
And yes, we're kind of pulling away from Indianapolis where, Gamebridge and the Colts may be. But at the same time, in one facility, you're going to have the Fuel, the Freight, and the Indy Unite, which is the volleyball team. So instead of, you had one team at the fairgrounds, you're now gaining two extra.
Right.
So I say the pros outweigh the cons of the whole
move. Absolutely.
And I mean, I can get a chocolate cake shake post game. I'm excited about that. Crumble cookie is a 3-minute drive. My sweet.
You're living. You're thriving.
Oh, I'm thriving. I'm so excited. So excited.
So you mentioned you went down to Columbus to go see your Toronto boys. Oh my gosh. Was that planned or was that kind of just like an impulse? Like, I miss hockey. My team's somewhat in town. Let's go.
So I signed up for like the student tickets. So you get like messages of like, hey, student tickets, cheap tickets, get them. And my friend Caleb is from Columbus. And we were in the same class. And I went in, I was like to his dorm because he actually lives right next door. Him and my boyfriend live across the hall from me, which is kind of cute. It's like the Friends episode. Like we literally live in the same vicinity. Cute. And so I went over, it's like, Caleb, are you ready to go to class? And he's like, class is canceled today. I was like, oh, what a joy. And then Drew, my boyfriend, mentioned, he's like, oh, yeah, like, you want to go to Columbus today? The Leafs play the Blue Jackets. And then Caleb was like, do you actually want to go? And I'm like, well, I have nothing going on tonight. And he's like, then we're all just looking at each other. And then, like, suddenly the tickets have been bought. And we're getting in the car and we drove to Columbus. I mean, it was a late night, but I'm not a spontaneous person at all. I love like planning things. And so that was probably the most spontaneous thing I've ever done in my life, which was really fun though. I did not like getting home at 2 a.m. though, but I digress. It was still really fun. Was it the best game in the world? From a Leaf standpoint.
No.
Partly Anna's looking at me through the window and it was kind of scary. No, the Leafs, I mean, it was not their best game, but at the same time, it helped me for my game this weekend because, I just was generating ideas. I was basically commentating the game and the people next to me got to hear it. So I really hope they enjoyed it. But no, it was really fun. I've never been in Columbus for a game. I've only gone there for like conferences and stuff like that. So it was really nice to see that. And it was a Tuesday night and there was like a lot of people there. And I was like pleasantly surprised by the amount of people that turned out. Plus
their fans are very passionate and consistently show up. I will say.
Yeah, they do. And it was awesome. And the tickets, like we got them for $35 a piece. They were section 101. Like we were 13 rows from the ice. $35. Ticket price is $121 if I went on Ticketmaster and bought them. I was like, what a steal. And so my boyfriend and I are going back. No. We're going back in January because my boyfriend's a big Kraken fan. So we're going to go watch the Columbus play the Kraken because we both picked teams that are kind of hard to get to, mildly, but it's fine. And then in next month, so like probably a couple weeks from now, I'm going to Minnesota to shadow the Wild broadcasters. I did it last year. I went to Vegas for a conference, and the Knights were playing the Wild, and I shadowed the Wild's broadcasters. And they're like, "Do you want to come again?" And I'm like,
Yes.
"Well, of course I would." So
You're
I'm
gonna
shadowing.
have to give me any recommendations because I'm also up to Minnesota end of February.
Oh, I will.
We're
I've
going
never been. I'm so
to
excited.
PWHL and University of Minnesota games.
Yes, that's gonna be a blast. I'm excited to go to the Mall of America because
It's so much fun.
I'm just a girl. I love shopping. Like, hello? I'm so pumped. But I needed to see my Leafs play because I'm big. I've just not seen it. Seen them in a while, and I was like, it's due. And then I was literally just in Ohio. I speak that Ohio is a horrible place, but as an Indiana, like you kind of just like as
Everybody in the
a
Midwest has
like
another state that you kind of
yeah.
give grief to.
I watched a lot of Ohio sports because we went to Game 3 of the ALCS, the Yankees versus the Guardians. I'm a Yankees fan now because, yep, there we go. Game 1 today.
I literally
hopefully they win. Hopefully they win the series. But that's just me. It's fine. We're fine. Leanne in here is also a big Yankees fan, so we've been giving trash to everyone else in the office of like, your team's not in the World Series, but mine is.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton is him. But I've been watching a lot of sports recently just because we don't have any home field games. And I'm like, I have to entertain myself with something.
Yeah.
My blood pressure needs to be risen for something. But tomorrow, well, Saturday, the 26th. Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday.
Yeah.
A group of us are going to go to Cincinnati for our away game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing the broadcast for that. It's our first game of the season that we're doing the broadcast. So I'm a little nervous, a little excited, but that's why I'm going to practice later today because I need to learn the team more and see their dynamics and watch them practice because you have no stats at the beginning of the year, like at all. You have nothing. I have nothing to go off of. So,
well, and do you guys have a decent amount of like new faces, or is it still pretty much similar to last year's roster?
It's pretty similar to last year, but we do have a lot of new faces, and it's just how do they fit in? And we also have a lot of new AHL guys from Rockford that came down. And so they're kind of intermixed and things like that. And then, of course, you have beginning season injuries. So then that impacts it. It's the ECHL. So it gets a little crazy down here.
It's a little
not as set as the NHL or even Rockford. I mean, you'll get guys from Chicago, but not as much as getting new guys from different universities. But no, the group we have this year is good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I know, like, I'm just a junior, so how much can I say that? But I'm like, I have analyzed the team, so I can say that a little bit.
This is your team, and I'm a firm believer that everybody, you can be excited.
I can be excited.
I'm excited over the Blackhawks, and we're awful.
Yeah, that's
everybody can be excited. It's your team.
You just have to do that. Like, even if they lose, I'm just like,
yeah, like respectfully, what else are we gonna do?
Yeah, like, and that's not a crime. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna be sad human if I don't root for them. So I digress.
Like, but that's rather watch that than cheer for somebody else. Like,
exactly.
All right, you touched on it just a little bit earlier, but you guys have been prepping. You guys have a ton of promo stuff for every game. It seems like on the calendar. Run us through. I mean, you don't have to run us through every game, but maybe like your favorites or like the big ones.
Yeah. So obviously,
December. I'm very sad that I didn't see a book talk one on the schedule because
my gosh, I feel like
a book talk one.
That's just what we do on the social media side is we just do all of our book talk things. But I'm trying to make sure I have it like pulled up because I feel like I'll miss one. But I'm very excited for our Eras night. I'm a big Swiftie. Most people in the office are a big Swiftie. But Eras for night, it's on Taylor Swift's birthday. So like, how much better could you actually get it? Oh my gosh, you're so prepped and ready. You got all the bracelets.
These are just the hockey bracelets.
I love it. I got an Indy Fuel one right now.
Oh, I'm gonna have to make myself a Fuel
It's the move. No, that one's gonna be huge. We're very excited about that. We have jerseys for those. Like,
too.
yeah, I've seen them and they're so good. All of our jerseys this year for like our specialty jerseys are actually the bomb.com. Like, I'm not just saying that because I love my team,
Right.
but like obviously I can't share exactly what they are just yet, but they are incredible. And I want to purchase every single one, but I simply do not have the bank account for every single one.
Right.
Of course, teddy bear toss is a huge one that the ECHL, AHL just love. And it's just one of my most favorite days of the year. I missed it last year because I made my TV debut at my station in my hometown. And I was like, it was kind of sad. But this year I will be there. Cleared my schedule for it. So I will be there. Promo night that I helped out make a lot was Nitro's birthday bash. Our mascot Nitro, we've never celebrated his birthday before.
He needs a birthday party.
I know. So I was like, he needs a birthday party and we need to invite all of his friends. So yeah, I'm very excited for that one because it's just a fun, like, Saturday game for kids that, celebrate our mascot's birthday, wear party hats, sing him a little song. He's crazy, so he'll enjoy it. It's fine. Other big, hockey is for everyone. It's one of my favorite nights as well, just because I love the ECHL's push for inclusivity, whether it's, these promo nights and our international women's nights, like just making sure that we're encompassing everyone who wants to be a part of hockey. I just think is really important, and that visibility too. Of course, we have all of our racing nights, like Indy 500 night, racing night. Like, those are big because, we literally are in the racing capital of the world. Sick jerseys again for those.
I might have to come down for that.
Yeah, it's pretty good this year. And we have a Valentine's Day game, which I think is just really fun. Like, on Valentine's Day. So I'm making my boyfriend come to the game because obviously if I have to work, he just has to come.
He has to be here. Yeah.
It's fine. He'll be fine. He'll get a snack. It'll be okay. New this year is also Bluey Day, which, like, Bluey has taken over the face of the earth. Like, let's be real here. And so obviously we had to jump on the train of Bluey. Pickleball night, like that.
Why
that's
not?
Fun. Like, and also just pickleball is like all of our players really play pickleball. Like, they just love pickleball so much. So we're like, perfect, pickleball. And then we're doing, like, how I think maybe just baseball does this, the City Connect jerseys, because we're doing an indie sports night. So I think NHL does them too. Yeah. City Connect jerseys.
Maybe.
The
NHL has kind of limited their fun jerseys, so they may have once upon a time ago.
Potentially, yes, they did. But we're doing, like, Indianapolis, like, indie-based, like, indie sports night. So kind of collaborating all of the big things. Like, we have so many sports teams in Indy.
Right.
And so it's hard to miss them. And now we have gained 2 more. But honestly, then we also just have, like, our staple nights, like Made in America night, Hockey Talks night. We have Glow night, and that's going to be glow-in-the-dark jerseys.
Ooh. I bet those look nice.
Yes, they do. They look great. I may be biased. Military Appreciation Night. Just like the typical, like, Hockey Fights Cancer, Star Wars night, wrestling night, Blackhawks night, obviously, of course.
Why not?
So no, like, we just got a collection of theme nights. Probably every single night has a night. Except, like, Wednesday night hockey is Wednesday night hockey, because, like, it speaks for itself. But Friday, Saturdays are going to be, like, the best time here. We have, like, just lots. It's just going to be lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun. And I know the players are hyped for all the new jerseys and the promos and things like that. So, no, we've got so much on the promo plate. We're thinking about our giveaways now. We're conjuring those up. So, obviously, I love a good giveaway, good little swag. So, once we know those will be released to the public. But what we're thinking about now for some of these are going to be pretty sick. So I'm excited.
Friendship bracelets for Era's night.
I think we may have a station to, like, make your own, like, Indy Fuel bracelet. Isn't that cute?
Oh, I'm obsessed.
I know. It's going to be so precious. It's going to be, and we're all like, all of us like Swifties here, we're wearing our Eras Tour outfit to the game. So I'm going to one of the indie shows. So excited. It's all I can think about right now. It's like really bad. Like it's got Fuel. I have Fuel. I have Taylor Swift. Homework out of the question. Don't
We
care
don't know
about
her.
it. No. But no. So we're all wearing like our Eras Tour fit to the show. We're inviting other people to wear their Eras Tour fit to the show. And it's, I mean, on her birthday. So it's going to be cool. We did like an office style promo for it. You can find that on our Instagram or any of our social media pages.
I was
But
going to say, if it's on TikTok, I've definitely seen it.
it is
Because
on
every
TikTok,
time
I believe.
that your guys' TikTok comes up on my For You page, I'm like, it's Eva!
Yes! It's me. I'm always there. If not, I'm the one filming it. So, which will be today. We're doing a riddle with the players. They're going to be so thrilled.
Ooh.
They might not.
Yeah, I liked the throwback, like their old pictures, the trend
my
that's going
gosh.
around where it's like sign the old picture.
I spent about probably 6 hours finding those. And then on top of that, then I found more dirt. That's for content later. Old tweets. I will find everything. Don't even. They're funny. Hockey
You just
players
like
are
go
crazy.
through like old like their profile on Facebook from when they were kids, or like how did you find the dirt?
So
I know you can't reveal all of
I looked up their parents, found their parents, then their parents had awful photos of them on Facebook because that's what parents do. They post like really bad photos. And then I just found their old Twitter accounts, and then I scrolled to the like clear end, and I found stuff there. Or their old Instagram, like when you go, like their main page not have anything, but then you looked at their tagged, and they may be tagged in something from like years ago that their friend posted. That's an awful photo of them.
That's genius.
If there's a will, there's a way.
There's a Will, there's an Eva.
There is.
All right. 2 more final questions, and then we'll let you go so you can practice being amazing. Because you guys do have a game this weekend. Run us through, what does a game day look like for you guys?
Yes. So it's kind of different now that we have no home games till December. But I'll just walk you through if we had a home, like if it's December 6th, like what does a game look like for us? So obviously we get here at like 1:00, prep for the game. I'm just like finishing my prep usually for the game because there's probably last minute stats, last minute transactions that I need to like be made aware of. Because sometimes Rockford will send someone down last minute or we'll put someone on IR, and I had them featured as a focus player and I'm like, oh no. So last minute prep is very real. And then if I don't have any last minute prep, I'm just editing content. There's just so much stuff still to do. But we have 2 other interns this year along with me because I'm an intern, but it's kind of weird that I'm more like a part-timey thing. So we have 2 other interns who are lovely and they will be tons of help. But then we all have like a front office team meal, which is so fun, so sweet. One of our sponsors brings us a meal. My favorite is Bubba's 33 because they have garlic knots.
Very important.
Garlic knots, mac and cheese, and wings. How much better can you get? Yeah, it's the best. Anyways, I love talking about food. I digress. So then after we eat, we go to the arena, get everything prepped and ready to go. Typically, Joe and I then will take walk-in photos, walk-in videos of the guys because we kind of know when they'll arrive and we got to go a little sooner than later. And then after that, it's getting content of Sewer Ball. It's getting content of, our nonprofits of the game. It's getting content of if there's a promo item, the promo item. If there's a sponsor, the sponsor. Just like getting all of the things that we can control before the game, we get those. And then Joe and I will have a pregame show this year on TikTok. So we're kind of growing our TikTok live. So we're going to go TikTok live for a short pregame show of like keys to the game, players to watch, that sort of thing. And then I'll transition to our TikTok warm-up live that we did kind of end of last year. And that's just where we show people hockey warm-ups. Joe's TikTok went viral of hockey players stretching. And so we give people hockey players stretching live so they can watch it I zoom in and everything. I got no shame. The players know I'm doing it. So that's always a blast. So we just go TikTok live and show people what the warm-ups do. And I also then answer questions too, if they're just like, who's the starting goalie? Who are we playing? That sort of thing. Because people will hop on from like, I don't know, Chicago, and they're like questioning like, who is this? What are we doing? What are we playing? That sort of thing. Because we'll just come up on people's feeds. The most memorable moment, like a side part though, is the actual NHL account joined a live last year.
Hell yeah.
That our former intern Kylie and I were doing. And we point blank said, that's a fake account. That's not real. We said that. And they heard it.
That's not real.
I thought it was a scam. I was like, no way the NHL is joining the ECHL Indy Fuel Hockey Live. But I guess they did. And I felt honored, even though I did say it was fake. But I hope they got a kick out of it. I hope they thought it was funny. But I thought it was fake. But then later we tapped and it had like the verified, and we're like, oh no, it was real. But we'll do the TikTok live, and that's always fun. We probably have an upwards of, I think one time we had like 3,000 people join, just to watch hockey warm-ups live.
I'm about it.
And that's not a crime. And then after warm-ups, I'll head up to the booth and then do the broadcast with our broadcaster, Andrew Smith. And then the other interns will handle like getting content of pucks, like plays, fights, goals, that sort of shebang thing. And then during intermission, they'll get content of like, if we have an on-ice activity, what's going on there. Make sure we highlight our nonprofit, things like that. So our Instagram stories are the main thing that we post on during game days. And you can kind of just see like a real-time update of how the game's going.
Right.
In Twitter too, like we live tweet the game as well. So sometimes I like to live tweet an away game because I think tweeting is fun. And I have so many like silly dog photos that I feel like they fit with some of the context of a hockey game.
Yeah.
So why not?
I see that.
Then after the game, wrap up, make sure everything's like tidy in order. If we have a game the next day, like prepping for that, then usually head out around like, depending on when the game ends, because if it goes to a shootout, we're there for a bit because we got overtime and then the shootout. And then we could have autographs or a post-game skate or a jersey auction afterwards. The jersey auctions take quite a bit, but those are pretty fun. If the team wins, they're fun if the team wins. Last year, it was during the playoffs, we canceled a jersey auction because we lost a playoff game 7-2. And we're just like, there's no way that this will be a good jersey auction. Like, and no, like, it's not good for the players. It's not good for the fans. Like, no. So we moved it to online. Thank goodness. Because I was like,
we're not doing this.
No, like, the hockey players are fun. They love, doing things like this. But if they lose, it's tough. And, it's just tough for everyone. But no, that's kind of a game. But then tomorrow we're just driving to Cincinnati. Then we're doing like a road series for Lucas Oil. So then we're just filming content of that. I'm doing the broadcast, so that'll be on Mixlr. It's like mixlr.com, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Or, of course, Flow Hockey is where we're
Yes, I just bought my subscription for it.
You can see us on Flow Hockey. But other than that, no, just it seems crazy day of, but then when you look at it from an outside source, you're like, oh, it's fine.
No, that does seem pretty
crazy.
That's a full plate you guys have for game days.
But it keeps me busy, and the time just fly. Like, until puck drops, though, I'm like antsy, though. I'm like, can we drop the puck? Can we drop the puck? Like, I just...
Game starts now.
Yeah, like...
Wake up that morning. Game starts now.
Yeah. Like, I would be like, oh, I have till 1 to, like... I need to leave at, like, 12:30 or whatever. And then, like, I blink, and it's, like, 10:45, and I'm like, I gotta get ready. Like, it's time to go. But no, my drive is a little longer now that I'm going, obviously, to Fishers, but that's fine. Like, that just means I get to get ready earlier, and my day starts earlier, and that means hockey starts in my head earlier. So,
yeah, that makes complete sense. Last and final question. Biggest thing that you've learned from last year going into this year, that you're taking going into this year?
Definitely, like, don't take anything with a grain. Like, what's the phrase? Like with a grain of salt or whatever the phrase is like what happens for the team, like happens for the team. Like if we lose, like it's the next day. Like obviously like you love your team, but don't take it personally sometimes.
Mhm.
And then also like with the fans, like there was a lot of sometimes I mean it's hockey fans, like they don't have to they're not sometimes the nicest people in the world sometimes. Especially like when I first started broadcasting, there was obviously some like pushback of like, why is a woman doing this? Like she doesn't
Right.
sound good. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's never played hockey game in her life. Like she just is a follower of the team. Like maybe she just wants a boyfriend. And I'm like,
No.
but it's just like making sure that I'm confident in myself. Like the front office, the Indy Fuel is confident enough to entrust me to do all 36 home games. I am there for a reason. I know how to do my job. No one else can tell me how to do my job, but maybe Andrew, because he knows a lot more than me. Like,
Right.
obviously, he's been in the industry way longer, but also, like, they don't understand, like, not to sound like mean or anything, but they could be in Indiana their whole life. And I envision in 5 years, I'm traveling with an NHL team. So, like, we are not the same. Like, their mean words are not going to discourage me from doing what I want to do. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I've seen other social media or like other admin posting
Mhm.
for different teams, but I think there's a lot even outside of hockey in the sports world in general, a lot of people think that the admin team that run the social media platforms that
Mhm.
you guys are like the head coach and the general
Yes.
manager.
We're not. They're like, you score more goals. Let me put on my pair of skates, my full uniform, and go out and score a goal for you. I love our fans, I really do. But sometimes I'm like, okay, really? You want why are you telling me this? Like
Right.
I'm just a baby. Like I'm just a girl. So I'm a 20-year-old girl who can't skate for the life of her. So
It's okay. Neither can I. I
yeah,
run a hockey podcast and I can't skate.
it's fine. It's fine. I know the context of it, so it's okay. But no, just like making sure that I mean, all of us here in the front office, like we got some really over the off season, some interesting comments about they didn't like our content because they wanted us to do more player content, and we're like, sir,
The players
we
aren't
have, we have no contract players right now. We technically have no team. So yes, I'm going to be in some TikToks. Yes, Joe's going to be in some TikToks. Our front office is going to be in TikToks. But at the same time, this is the front office that puts on these games. So you need to be aware of who they are.
I
Um,
wish more teams had their front office in their social media videos
mhm.
because it's cool to see like the people that are doing everything during the season.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm taking with me this year. And then just also like keep growing. Like obviously it's an honor to do this. Like I feel like sometimes it doesn't truly set in like how much of like a really cool experience this is. Like some people would bend over backwards to have this experience. And it was like obviously I worked hard to get
Yeah,
this position. But like I'm so grateful for it and like where it's opening avenues for me now. But yeah, just keep growing because the NHL is a couple steps away
absolutely.
and I'm a junior. So, not that I'm going to get a job in the NHL right out of college, but there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
Can do it.
Um, well, perfect. Eva, thank you so much for
Oh,
coming on again.
thank you for having me. I can't wait to see you at a game, a Fuel game, for sure. And if I'm
Absolutely.
ever in Chicago, I'll let you know that I'm going to Blackhawks game and maybe you can come with.
We'll be there with friendship bracelets
Of course.
ready to go.
Of course.
All right. Perfect. That is all. Thank you so much for
Of
coming
course.
on.